Hey, what's up guys, this is Liam or Weagle on your Overwatch, back with a new video. Today we're going to be talking about Overwatch's newest and potentially most complicated hero, Doomfist. There's about 1 million parts of his kit to cover, there's positioning, and FREEDO already did a really good video about some of his positioning tips. Today we're going to be talking about mainly how to do maximum damage, learn the combos, and overall Doomfist things. There will be some theory, of course, but combos, doing damage, that's what we want to talk about here today. The first thing I want to get into is just a brief description of the play style you want to take when playing Doomfist, because I think when we all first saw him, it looked like he would be this diving hero, like he would be the new Genji or Tracer, but as he's come out, it's become apparent very quickly that he simply doesn't have the utility to get into a fight and get out of it anywhere near as well as Genji and Tracer do. So it's looking like he will be played fairly on the defensive or pounce style like Reaper would play rather than a traditional dive. Of course, coupled with a Zarya and in a dive comp, I'm sure you could run him in that way, but he has such a big hitbox and his evasive tools are very much used to get in and then you've got to wait for the cooldowns to get out. It's just not quite the same as the usual dive DPS we're used to. His hitbox is simply too big for that. Instead, how people are playing him at the minute is to take a very concise approach to the footsie game that you play with your enemy team. So with a lot of different heroes, as you've played the game over the year, you all know certain synergies and how to attack someone or bait out an ability. Well, with Doomfist, all of that is starting again. All of that is brand new. And the safest bet with him at the minute is to take an approach to any fight that you want to do in a way that you know you can either get in with only a fist to try and kill someone with that insta-kill, but you've still got some abilities to get out of the fight. Anyone that's played him, I've done it, and I know you've done it too. You've dove in, think you can play like a dive hero, and then realise that you're the size of Reinhardt without the shield or the HP. And that is the one thing you want to be very careful of when playing Doomfist. So let's talk about the good stuff, the abilities, the damage, the slam. We're going to start with the slam because it actually has some really weird statistics depending on how you launch yourself. The ability is described to do more damage the further and higher you travel from, but it doesn't currently work like that. And I'm not sure if this is a measure in the game to make it a bit harder to do the combo with the uppercut, or if it's simply a bit of a bug that's currently in the game. But if you slam from anywhere, when you're up in the air, no matter where you slam from a starting position of being floating in the air somewhere, whether you've just jumped or uppercutted, whatever it may be, you can't seem to do much more than 90 damage with the slam ability currently. So if you're up on a ledge and you jump off of a ledge and then press E, you'll see that the blue reticle appears on the floor and you can choose where to jump down to. This will rarely do more than 86 damage from a position that is off the ground. However, if you're up on the high ground on a surface, let's talk about Hollywood as an example, well, you can just press E, and even though that blue reticle will not come up and you won't be able to necessarily choose the exact distance you want to go, you are way more likely to do the maximum damage of 125. In fact, if you jump up to the exact same height but start in the air and jump to the exact same place that you would if you had started on the rooftop, it will still do less damage even from exactly the same position. So long story short with this slam, guys, is you will do more damage more likely if you're starting from a surface, which is really strange. But don't let that fool you, because slam really, what it's about is to drag your enemies in for a combo. Depending on how much you've played Doomfist, you may not know that this slam actually builds shields for the amount of people that you get into it. So if you get a few people in it, then you're going to build a bunch of shields, and it will also drag them all towards you, and it's a very good combo starter. So there will be a lot of maps like Hanamura or Hollywood. There's a lot of different maps with some high ground near the choke point, especially on defense. You want to be perched up there for when the enemy initiate, because then you can jump in for that slam and fist combo, which is the first combo I'll mention. Is a simple 1-2 combo, which will be really good at a choke point. You'll instantly build some shields, you'll do the maximum 125, and then you can fist someone into the wall. Just be careful with the slam. You don't actually have to maximize the slam damage all the time. Being more accurate to pull it in is way more important to get that hero into a Doomfist combo than it is to do maximum damage. Trying to just get some crazy high ground may not be optimal at that time. You may want to uppercut and then use the slam, and you know you'll only do 86 or 50 damage, but pulling them into that combo is what's most important. So there are actually a few combos that Doomfist can do, and it will always depend on every situation on how you're going to go about your combo, depending on how much health your enemy has, depending on if they're a tank, if they have a shield, if they're with a teammate. So this can vary, but the number one rule for Doomfist is pretty much that you can fit in his left click shot ability to slightly cancel any of the other abilities. So regardless of the combo you do, shooting in between each ability will up your DPS dramatically. So you want to be trying to fit in a left click between any combo that you do, because it pretty much cancels and goes out in the middle of the combo at the same normal speed, but with that extra damage. Also bear in mind that his primary fire has no fall off range, but it has a massive spread and a weird projectile speed. So outside of combos, you want to take the time to actually aim this and be careful, but in the middle of combos, most of the combos will actually knock the person backwards in the straight direction. So as long as your crosshair placement is good, you should always be able to fit in a shot between your abilities. Now combos depend on situation a lot. They will also depend on the map and all kinds of different things, and some of it I won't get into here. But in terms of raw combos, you can make it up as you go along, but I want to go through some basic combos that can help you guys start building up towards them big combos that are really difficult to do. As we mentioned before, slam can always be a good way to do a combo. It's not necessarily the only way, but slam will always pull someone in for the opportunity to slam, shoot, uppercut, shoot, fist again. So that's like one fairly simple combo. I know Doomfist is really complicated, so I'll say that again. It would be slam, shoot, uppercut, shoot, fist. So that is one of the more simple combos. Of course, there is just slam, shoot, fist, which is a really good 1-2 combo on a low health target that's near a wall, which is really useful too. And that's such a good combo to throw out at anyone that's near any kind of a surface you can punch them into. Just about the most advanced combo you could do that would pretty much kill anything in the game is if you was to land something along the lines of, and this is difficult, shoot, slam, shoot, uppercut, shoot, fist, shoot, melee cancel at the end, because melee can cancel Doomfist's fire. So if you actually shoot his left click and melee, you can cut that out really quick, and you can also cut that out at the end of a combo, or you can simply do it when you're about to run out of ammo and you just want to punch someone to finish them off. As I said before, combos don't necessarily have to start with a slam either. They could start with the normal fist to get in, and then you could shoot, uppercut, slam, and then by the time that's happened, you might have your fist again, so that you can either fist someone out of the air or get back down. Now in regards to uppercuts, it's very difficult to fit them into a combo, and you definitely will want to at times, but I do believe that the uppercut is actually going to be quite a good evasive tool, a little bit like Genji's double jump in a way, so that if you're in the fight and it's a bit scary, you could uppercut, you'll hit everyone around you, gain some shields, and then hopefully you're going to have your fist again by the time you come down for that other kind of a combo. You will be able to throw it into these mass combos at times, but as I say with Doomfist, his hitbox is massive. You need to be really careful when you take these engagements, and the uppercut is one way that you can get out. Trying to get into the engagements without using many abilities is something you need to do, because if you use them all to get in, you're pretty much going to die unless your whole team are with you. As we say, can be used in a dive comp, but will be better served in more of a defensive style. As I said before, each engagement you take is going to vary massively. Someone like Ryan, you might just want to uppercut them into the air so that your team then hammer him down or hammer his team down. Every engagement will have its own footsie battle, and of course the best way to learn these and to play the hero and learn them these are some of the basics, although very complicated, and I'd love to know any theories you have or any combos you found to be super successful. Of course, there are just simple ones, as I mentioned before, which you could just rocket punch someone, then shoot them, then slam them, just for a quick 100 damage or 120 damage. When you're charging your right click, you don't necessarily have to charge the whole thing up, because if you just half charge it and fist someone into the wall, that's pretty much going to one-shot them, and you can always follow that up with a left click melee cancel. So there's all of these cancels, all these abilities, and it's super complicated, and this is about the most basic I could break it down, so let me know what you think to that. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about his ultimate. Now, the combos are obvious with crowd control, like grab, for example. You can set that up and Doomfist down, and that's really cool. But aside from that, Doomfist's ultimate is really powerful, you just have to know when to use it. It can be a really good get out of jail free card in a mid fight, but only one that your team are doing well in. It's a little bit like Genji's ult, where you don't want to use it if you're not going to win that team fight. So if it looks like you guys are doing well but you lose some health, you can call in your ultimate, land on a couple of people, get some shields back, and hopefully get regened in that time, and then steamroll out the fight from there. Doomfist is his most scary when he can keep rolling off his abilities, and his ultimate is just another notch on his belt that he can pull out to keep that momentum going. Just make sure you don't use it in a way like Genji's do, where they waste their blade and still lose the fight, and that actually is really the only skill you need to know when using this ultimate. Just a couple of quick things to mention at the end, guys. Remember, you can always use a good combo out of spawn of a punch, an uppercut, and then a slam. This will vary a little bit depending on the maps, but you can get back into the fight pretty quick, and we will also do a guide showing you all of the shortcuts on the various maps in the game. The most important thing about Doomfist, guys, is the footsie battle. That is a fighting game term, and he is a fighting game hero, and he even plays in Overwatch like one. You've got to be very careful with the engagements that you take. Find someone in a corridor. Maps like Route 66 with these massive wide open spaces, it is going to be pretty much a no-pick zone for Doomfist, but somewhere like King's Row Streets, pulling him out and being lurky like you would be with a Reaper, around them corners and in them tight areas is going to be a massive advantage for Doomfist, and that is somewhere you want to pick him all the time. So guys, as simple as I can make this video, but probably still a little bit complicated. There's a lot to go through over Doomfist, and we will cover them over the coming weeks. If you have any suggestions, then let us know in the comments, as well as any great combos that you've learned with this new hero. Be sure to check out our Twitter and our Discord, where you guys can find the Doomfist main of your dreams. Be sure to hit that bell icon so you guys get notified when our videos go live. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a great day as always. Take care and peace, people.